Last year, Costco sold $270 billion of stuff. Rotisserie chickens, pallets of toilet paper, gold bars, and even actual coffins. And it made about $10 billion in operating profit doing it. But here's the strange part. Almost none of that came from selling you anything. Costco earns about 3 cents of profit on every dollar that crosses the register, a margin thinner than a lot of ordinary grocery stores. So here's the question that should bother you. How is a company that barely profits on what it sells worth more than $400 billion? The answer is that the shelves were never the business. The thing Costco actually sells you, the thing almost all of its profit comes from, is a small plastic card that costs $65 a year. I'm going to call this model the toll booth. You pay to get in, and once you're inside, everything is sold to you at basically cost. Most members have no idea they're the product. Let's take it apart. Means and motive. Every fortune has a means and a motive. Here's the plan. First, what Costco is doing to its own prices, which looks almost like self-sabotage, and once involved a genuine death threat over a hot dog. Then, the machine underneath, 4 moves that turn deliberate cheapness into profit. And finally, the one number that proves the whole thing. The number Costco's rivals have quietly feared for 40 years. That one's worth the wait. Walk into a normal store and you're paying for a hidden markup. Supermarkets and big box chains routinely mark goods up 25 to 50%. Department stores closer to 100. That gap is how they survive. Now stand in a Costco. The prices are genuinely, structurally low, and here's the tell. The consumer data firm Numerator puts the typical Costco shopper's household income north of $125,000 a year. These aren't desperate bargain hunters. They're people who could shop anywhere, choosing to drive to a concrete warehouse and buy ketchup by the gallon. And notice what's missing. A normal supermarket carries over 100,000 different products. Costco carries around 4,000. 1 olive oil, 1 ketchup, stacked on a wooden pallet. And if you don't grab the thing you came for, it might be gone next month. That scarcity isn't sloppy inventory, it's engineered urgency. People call it the treasure hunt, and it's why the average member walks out having spent far more than they planned. Then there's the stuff Costco sells at a deliberate loss. The rotisserie chicken, 157 million of them last year, held at $4.99 even when it costs more to make. Gas out front, priced to barely break even. And the most famous item in American retail, a hot dog and a soda for $1.50, a price that has not moved since 1985. Adjusted for inflation, that combo should cost over $4 today. Which raises the obvious question. If Costco is deliberately refusing to make money on the shelves, capping its own prices, losing money on hot dogs, then where exactly is the profit coming from? Move 1. Refuse to make money on purpose. That 14% markup cap is real, but here's the part almost nobody mentions. It appears in no financial filing anywhere. It's not a legal rule, it's a cultural one. Drilled in by co-founder Jim Sinegal. There's a story that shows how deep it runs. Costco was selling Calvin Klein jeans for $29.99. A buyer landed a cheaper shipment, a genuine windfall, about $7 a pair. Any normal retailer keeps that. Costco instead dropped the shelf price to $22.99 and handed the whole $7 back to shoppers. Sinegal described the temptation to pocket it like an addiction. Do it once, he said, and it's like taking heroin. That's the discipline in one anecdote. Costco targets only about an 11% gross margin, a fraction of what most retailers take. So nearly every deal it wins goes back to you, not into its own pocket. Low margins here aren't weakness, they're a wall. Costco makes the merchandise so cheap that no ordinary retailer can undercut it and survive. Just ask Sam's Club. It's had the full weight of Walmart, the largest retailer on earth, behind it for 40 years, and a single Costco warehouse still rings up roughly twice the sales of a single Sam's Club. That gap has barely moved in a decade. In fact, a brand new Costco in its very first year already outsells the average Sam's Club that's been open for decades. Move 2. Lose money to make money. Back to that hot dog. At some point, the costs on that combo climbed high enough that Costco's merchandising chief, Craig Jelinek, who'd later become CEO, did the sensible thing and suggested raising the price. He took it to his boss, co-founder Jim Sinegal. Sinegal's reply in full, "If you raise the effing hot dog, I will kill you. Figure it out." So, they figured it out. Costco built its own hot dog plants, switched suppliers to control costs, and kept the price nailed to $1.50. In fiscal 2025, it sold over 245 million of those combos, a number its own CFO now reads out at shareholder meetings like a trophy, all of it at a loss, on purpose. Because the hot dog was never a snack, it's a signal. Every $1.50 combo, every $5 chicken, quietly tells your brain the same thing. This place is always the cheapest. Don't bother comparing. A member who believes that stops price checking and starts trusting. And trust, as we're about to see, is the whole asset. Move 3. Strip the model to bone. How do you sell at cost and still keep the lights on across 900 warehouses? You carry 4,000 products instead of 100,000, which means you buy each one in colossal volume. Costco does roughly 10 times Walmart's sales per product. That volume is a crowbar in every supplier negotiation. And when a brand won't bend, Costco simply builds its own version and sets it on the shelf right beside them. That's Kirkland's signature. And here's the beat that makes suppliers sweat. Kirkland now does around $86 billion a year. On its own, it would be a bigger brand than Procter & Gamble, bigger than Kraft Heinz. A store brand quietly became one of the largest consumer brands on the planet, and it exists mainly as leverage. No advertising to speak of. Goods on pallets, not shelves. A near-empty product list. Every ounce of that efficiency exists to make one thing possible: selling to you at cost without going bankrupt. But, and this is the crack in the story, efficiency alone doesn't explain the profit. A company can be this disciplined and still make nothing, which, on the actual merchandise, Costco basically does. So what's move 4? The one that actually pays the bills? Now we get to the part that changes everything. Because everything so far, the capped markups, the death threat hot dog, the giant pallets, the fake brand leverage, none of it is the business. It's all set up. Every piece exists to make one small transaction feel worth it. The $65 you hand over at the door. This is Move 4, and this is the number I promised you. Last year, all of that selling, $270 billion of merchandise, after every cost, contributed about $5 billion to Costco's operating profit. On the goods themselves, Costco keeps under 2 cents on the dollar. The membership fees alone brought in $5.3 billion. Read that again. The little plastic card out-earned the entire store. And before an accountant types it into the comments, yes, running those warehouses costs real money. The staff, the buildings, the forklifts, all of that is already inside these numbers. On the merchandise side, strip every cost out fairly, and the fee is still the largest slice of the profit. Costco could sell everything on its shelves at exactly what it paid, make zero on all of it, and still be a profitable company. The profit was never the merchandise, it was the right to walk in. This, by the way, is why Costco can sell gold bars and lose money on chicken in the same building. It genuinely doesn't need the shelves to make money. The shelves are the ad for the card. Here's what makes it nearly impossible to copy. 92% of members in the US and Canada renew every single year. 81 million paying households. And the top-tier executive members are under half the base, but drive nearly 3/4 of all sales. Costco literally pays them a 2% rebate to stay loyal, and it works. That fee income is recurring, paid a year in advance, and costs almost nothing to collect. Which is why Wall Street doesn't value Costco like a grocer at all. It values it like a subscription business, because that's exactly what it is. A rival can copy the pallets. It can copy the cheap chicken. It cannot copy 40 years of 92% renewals. The toll booth only works once you've spent decades earning the right to charge the toll. Now, right about here, a certain kind of viewer is thinking, so I'm the sucker. I'm paying $65 to be Costco's profit. Actually, no. And this is the strange, almost beautiful part. Most you are the product businesses win because you lose. Costco is the rare one that only wins if you win too. The fee nudges you to shop more to justify it, but the prices are low enough that if you actually use the place, you save far more than the fee. Spend about $6,500 a year on an executive membership, and the 2% rebate hands your entire fee back. Heavy users effectively get in free and still pay the lowest prices in town. It's one of the only businesses on earth where you are the product and you got a genuinely great deal are both true at once. Here's why this matters far beyond one warehouse. Once you can see the toll booth, you start seeing it everywhere, and it changes how you read a company and how you spend. Amazon barely profits selling you things. The money is in its cloud business and its ads. The printer in your house was cheap. The ink is the toll. Your gym sells memberships to people. It's quietly counting on not to show up. Airlines now make more profit from their credit card mileage programs than from flying you anywhere. And your free checking account. The toll is the merchant fees, the overdrafts, and the interest on your idle cash. So here's the investor's version. In one line, revenue tells you what a company sells, profit tells you what it actually is. Don't stop at the headline sales number. Find the segment where the operating profit actually comes from. That's the real company. Everything else is bait. Every business sells you two things: the product on the shelf and the quieter one behind it that actually pays. The people who build real wealth learn to tell them apart. Now you can too, and you won't walk into a store or read an earnings report the same way again. That's the whole reason this channel exists. Costco's toll booth is one machine, but every empire runs one. The bait out front, the quiet engine behind it. Every week, means and motive takes another one apart until you can see it too. You walked in thinking this was about one warehouse. You're leaving able to see the toll booth in almost anything you buy. Subscribe, and every week we'll hand you another lens like it. Until then, spend like you can see the toll booth. Every fortune has a means and a motive.